All right, so let's talk about YouTubers. Okay, so why your kids want to be YouTubers, and you should too. So that's my disclaimers. Okay, so Jimmy Donaldson, anybody know who this guy is? Mr. Beast? Yeah, he's the world biggest YouTuber. He has now like over 500 million total subscribers. He has a staff of over 100 people. He's probably pulling in over $100 million in revenue a year on just YouTube revenue. How about Mike Vaskarski, Dr. Mike? So during the pandemic, this guy's a family practice resident at that time, said, okay, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel called Dr. Mike. He grew it to 10 million. So he was interviewing Barbara Corcoran from the Shark Tank crew, and Barbara's like, oh, you should be on TV, you should get a contract. And he's like, I don't need a contract because I'm making like over 10 million. So these YouTubers are making serious money. Why? Because the landscape is changing. All these major networks are losing viewers. So when you're watching the Super Bowl, for example, how many of you pick up your phones during the commercials? I pick up my phones. No one watches the commercials hardly anymore, right? Or even watch your favorite network television show. So TV advertisers are now funneling their money to YouTube. So last year, YouTube paid out $23 billion to creators. And this is still growing. I mean, this is not the end. This is the beginning. And in the last 3 years, it was like 70-something billion total. So creators on this space receive about 55% of the ad revenue. So when you watch a YouTube video and there's an ad that plays, an advertiser pays $100. The creator gets 55, YouTube keeps 45. That's how that works. So if you do an estimate of what this is worth, 1 million subscribers is close to $1 million in revenue a year. What if your missionary organization was pulling that amount of cash? Well, you're doing it passively, or your private practice passively, right? What if you became the Dr. I of the universe, and pulling in that much annually? What could you do with your practice if you had that extra cash? Or even if you only had 100,000 subscribers, pulling in like $93,000 a year. You see where I'm going with this? But you also save time. How much I mentioned before in time that you save when your patients are now watching on YouTube, rather than you sitting there in your clinic talking about dry eye and cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and so on. So these are just the extra benefits. This is the icing on the cake. Okay, so the kids love YouTubers because it's freedom, fun, fame. Doctors really should join the conversation because YouTube is trying to bring in professionals to make it a professional platform where, because it's the second most popular search engine in the world, that's where people go to get their questions answered. Now, keep in mind that just because there's another physician or another practice already doing this doesn't mean you can't do this, because you have an automatic audience already. If you're a missionary, you have people who follow you, donate, and will watch you. You have a ready-made audience. If you're a practice of, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 patients, you have a ready-made audience already. That's just a no-brainer, right? Where when I started YouTube, I had to start from scratch, from one, and post my videos to try to get people one at a time to come to me, because I can't use the Navy to recruit, my subscribers, right? And then also, people may prefer different doctors talking about different things or the same things. For example, some people will prefer Gene Hauscher, right? Some prefer an Asian guy. Some prefer a bald Asian guy. So that's how it is. It's like, that's why YouTube can be so popular, because you're not just tuned in to ABC only. They can only pick one spokesperson for that topic on ABC for that specific time. But on YouTube, it's 1 billion channels. And let me tell you a story on that. So there's a channel on YouTube that only films elevators going up and down, up and down. This guy goes, okay, here's a new elevator, up and down. It turns out that he has millions of autistic people who enjoy watching elevators. So he's making millions of dollars on autistic people who prefer elevators. So maybe you'll get lucky and you have an autistic crowd that you pull in for your eye surgery videos. Okay, so establish trust and authority online, educate patients at scale. It's evergreen, it's timeless. So try to make your videos so that they last a long time. Like, blepharitis treatment is, I trained in 2001, starting my residency. It hasn't changed hardly. Lid scrubs, baby shampoo, the baked potato trick, or the hot towel in the microwave, or using eye beads, it's all about the same. And then I already talked about ChatGPT, and then also in Grok now. Okay, so what can you do? You can do, like, for example, FAQs. What is glaucoma? What's a cataract? Basic stuff. Do procedure walkthroughs. This is how I do LASIK surgery. This is how I prep you for a chalazion IND, or whatever it is. You can do myth busting. Don't use castor oil in your eye. Or don't use, breast milk for conjunctivitis. That kind of stuff. And these are things that are just gets propagated from decade to decade. Do day in the life clips. You can have somebody just walk around and see how you do surgery and film and, just keep patient ID out of it. People love the day in the life of kind of like the reality TV. You can have your own few videos in there that are your reality TV clips. Okay, so I already talked about this. Okay, so now being visible will bring you credibility, and YouTube's helping with that because on my YouTube videos, you can actually, once you get up to monetization, you can actually apply for this little plaque that appears on every single video. And what it says is, it says by a medical doctor licensed in the United States. That adds credibility to what you do. It's funny because I interviewed Glaucomflecken, Dr. Glaucomflecken. Yeah, Will Flannery. I go, man, that thing is great, right? Where they tell you that you're a medical doctor. He goes, well, not so much for me. My videos are pretty, he makes a lot of jokes, a lot of jabs at insurance companies, and he's like, that works against him. Okay, so also collaborate with your colleagues, your other people that you know. Yeah, you bring them on, talk, maybe do a little podcast. Work with other influencers, partner with me. I can help you. We make a video, we post it, we promote your practice, that kind of thing. You share across platforms, and then you also consider YouTube promotion. So YouTube promotions is the Google Ads of YouTube. They just launched it a few years ago. You should do this. Because when I start talking about Google Ads, back when I created iRounds 20 years ago, Google didn't charge that much for LASIK surgery terms and eye surgery terms. It was like pennies on the dollar. You're talking about like a quarter per click, right? YouTube promotions is right now where Google Ads were 20 years ago. So there's not a lot of competition. There's not a lot of people bidding. So meaning that I can pay 1 penny and get 1 new subscriber. And that's how I grew my channels so quickly, is that I actually add in just $1 per day, and I grow by at least 100 to 200 new people around the world. So again, if you're a missionary, this is the way to really build your presence and attract a worldwide audience fairly quickly. Okay, so audio is number 1. People think it's video, but it's audio. So this little DJI mic right here is outstanding audio. And if you don't have a video camera, consider getting like a DJI Osmo 3. This is a Pocket 3. This is a 4K camera on a gimbal. Check this thing out. So that's on a gimbal, very highly stable. You can run around with it, and all your video would be completely stable. It's like $700, and it comes with a mic which syncs with this camera. So you can do all your videos, do all your interviews. If you're a missionary work, this thing has a battery and also a battery extender. You can actually do a lot of videos while you're out in the field. So it has a little screen right there. And it does both like reverse and forward. So I can actually flip the camera around and do like a selfie and talk to myself. And if you don't have a nice video camera, you can start with something fairly basic for about $1,000. You can get like a Canon R10, which is a mirrorless digital camera, but it is crop frame. It's not a full frame, but that's good enough for like YouTube videos. And then get a nice lens. I recommend getting like a 10 to 18 millimeter lens with an f-stop of 2.8. That's a wide enough view that you can actually get like the whole audience here, but it actually put a camera in front of you, and it would look good on YouTube, okay? So definitely at 10 millimeters here, you can get a really good view. And then you can also use a smartphone with good lighting. I mean, the smartphone is really good in terms of filming. It's just the audio is not as good, so you can actually sync this DJI mic, this little mic, and you can just sync that with your phone, and this thing just clips on to your jacket or wherever. I already talked about ChatGPT, so we can skip this part. Okay, so how you create a channel. It's really easy. You just go to youtube.com and then click on the studio part. So studio.youtube.com. Pick, and then create your account. I would say start with 3 patient FAQs, frequently asked questions that you normally get, and just make that into a video. Film yourself, practice talking to a camera, but your patients want to hear you, right? They want to see you. So they've known you, they love you, they are attached to you. Sometimes in bad ways, but they are attached to you, right? And so you can actually use that advantage by being on camera and actually build that patient, allegiance even further. So your voice, your video will increase the impact and growth. Any questions about that?
So tell them a little bit about YouTube and COS.
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel, and all our videos that we are putting on there are available. And I would recommend you guys going there, subscribing, and help spreading the word by just watching the videos. So just by simply watching the videos and being engaged, liking the video and writing a comment like, great stuff, really appreciate COS, and that would really help. Let me add in about ChatGPT one thing though. You'll start getting comments on your Facebook page, your Google reviews, your any online content. That takes a lot of time to reply to those individual patients, especially the very long ones, right? They write an essay. Clip that into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT type of response. It saves you so much time. But then, of course, again, program it and then also basically proofread it so that it's your voice and make sure that it's what you want to get across. But it'll save you a lot of time not composing, yourself.
Will you talk through the process of when you say train ChatGPT, like how long does that take for it to learn you? And what you said, uploading stuff into like a folder. Well, what about like when you're responding to responses? Does it use that folder to write responses, or do you just have to keep editing, be nicer, or put more medical facts? Like, how do you actually train it to learn your voice?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So when you pay for ChatGPT, you can make a folder, right, a project folder. So I have one that I'll just let's back up a little bit. So when you use ChatGPT long enough, it actually learns about you. Like, for example, it knows I have a Canon R10. It knows I have an Osmo Pocket 3 because I've asked questions on how to use it. So it's interesting, though, because later on when I answer a question, it says, tell them to use an R10 with this lens, So it actually learns by just you using it on a daily basis. But then you can actually tell it, remember, I want you to reply in a polite, professional way that reflects, courtesy, compassion, and make a folder for that. But I'm also, I have a few, like people come and scoff about religion, right, or about Christianity. So, I know they're there just to scoff. So I should say, okay, reply back in a scoffing way, but also be polite and educated so that other people who watch can actually learn, kind of like a discussion forum on a academic school site. You know how you go online, you like post a response and people can learn by reading. And then here are the scriptures I want you to know really well. So I feed it all the scriptures I want. And then when it replies, 5 seconds is exactly what I want. Beautiful. So that way you don't spend a 30-minute energy session trying to draft a response for a scoffer. And there's going to be just more of them. They're like hydras, right? They just like pops up everywhere. So now I can actually reply people on Facebook by myself.
All right, so you've taught it to write in a scoffing language, and then on your medical side, you've taught it to write in a caring and compassionate language.
Yes.
So then when you put in the copied question, will it then start to assume, oh, this is a scoffing response, so I want to use scoffing language? Or do you have to keep telling it every time which voice you want?
So the folders are in the top part, right? So if I want it to be in a certain way, I click on the folder. So I go to educated medical, and then I just paste the comment there. So it knows, yeah.
So based on which folder, it knows which folder.
Yes. Otherwise, it's a wild, wild west what it does.
Well, and I think that you have to really train it what I do, I'm sure you have done this already, but I'm kind of novice compared to him, very novice, but I have spent a lot of time explaining to it my background and what my belief system is and why. And it understands me now. I mean, it really does.
It does.
To your point, that's the information it will feed back to me if I ask it a question. And I've been really pleased with that aspect. But at first, it's unbelievable, like what it will say to you. At least I think so, because it assumes you're very liberal in some of the things you ask it, and you're like, no. So anyway, it's an interesting journey. Yeah.
Gene, there's a question.
Oh, sorry.
My question is on advertising on YouTube. How does that happen exactly? How many followers do you need, and does it automatically just assign advertisements to you? And what if it's advertising something weird that you aren't really supporting?
Yes. So you don't have much control over the ads that come in your channel. You can actually exclude certain types of ads, like you don't want ads that are inappropriate or sexual or whatever, right? So I go in there and I do that. Then it's all up to YouTube to put that in. But they're very careful because they have the algorithm. They want to make sure the creator is happy with the advertisers and vice versa. So they tend to match up pretty well. And if you don't want ads, you can just say click no ads and no ads will pop up.
But you get paid for those ads, so that's kind of a good thing, right?
Yes, you get paid for those ads, so it's a good thing, yes.
So I just said you get paid for those ads. So I have a son who's has a pretty good presence, has like 200,000 followers on,
That's good.
on his YouTube channel, but he doesn't seem to know how to get paid for anything, which is a problem to his parents because he's living in the basement. So.
Okay, so is he monetized? Does he able to? Did he turn on monetization?
Maybe he hasn't. So that's just like a button he has to click, and then he's got an apartment downtown Denver.
Yes. So it's a button you click, and then YouTube review the information. And the other way YouTubers make money is on affiliate marketing, kind of like the DigiFill thing that I just guys showed you. This is probably the first time I really talked about it. I just have in the description of my YouTube channel. Like all my videos have a description of all these little affiliate links that I recommend people to go. Like buy the R10 from this site, or buy the a Canon lens here, or whatever. And then you generate actually a lot more on affiliate marketing actually than the actual YouTube promotions.
Okay, thank you very much.
This is just out of curiosity. What do your transitions look like with these videos with patient encounters? I mean, they say, they've been having this, and then you immediately, give them the QR code, or what does that look like? And then you pop out of the room for a minute and you go see another patient, or what? How do you manage, I guess?
Oh yeah, so we'll be talking. I'm like, oh yeah, this, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I'll just say I have a YouTube channel. I'm going to give you my YouTube channel, and I have a video on dry eye, or have a video on how to select intraocular lenses that's best for you. And why don't you watch this video, and the next time you come back, we can discuss further. That's how I do it. And then they're out of my chair, and then I can see the next one. All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.